How about a walk today? Self-reflection is a never-ending process. I find that self-reflection, while moving, deepens the process. Something about human beings loving to feel in control of and capable of putting space between themselves and anything that causes them discomfort. Anything that triggers a reminder of being caused discomfort. And the wild thing is when you look at all the opportunities to feel feelings of comfort, emotions of comfort, or emotions of discomfort, you have more opportunities to be made uncomfortable than to be invited into comfort. I'd correct that. You're always invited into comfort. But in this external world, you have more opportunities to experience discomfort. Even if you look at a emotions list or feelings wheel, the quote-unquote positive emotions, they make up what? Maybe 30%? And that's with us including some of the more neutral emotions in there too. And there's a lot of stuff that you might not want to feel, that you're gonna need to feel anyways. And instead of counting it all bad when you feel the thing that you didn't want to feel, we're making it fashionable to see the purpose in feeling shitty too. Sometimes it's relieving to feel shitty. Like, at least I don't have to try to be silver lining in my perspective. At least I can just wallow here. Sometimes feeling shitty is exactly what we need. Sometimes not having that triumphant, that go-getter energy, sometimes just giving yourself a chance to try on a different personality trait that you don't typically embody. Sometimes that is satisfying in a way that I don't think we like to admit. It's like indulging in doubt. But I'd say treat that like a costume that you might put on once a year. Indulge in that moment. Like really get into it in that moment. And then do away with it. Don't make that into the personality you live in. Don't make that into your emotional home. You deserve access to the vast array of feelings and emotions that there are to experience. And just because not all of them are comfortable or quote unquote positive, it doesn't mean they aren't serving you. Wallowing in them indefinitely doesn't. Feeling them does. And you just got to start to build trust with yourself. That when you do indulge, you will not be gluttonous. Right now, you might not ever let yourself fall apart because you don't trust that you'll put yourself together again. But what if, just what if, you knew that you would? What would that be like? And that brings me to what we have been reflecting on. And why walking is just such an excellent medium to put this processing into practice. Physically being in flow while offering emotional flow. expressive flow, sunlight flow. So, since we are the poster child for being a healthy emotional roller coaster, right now, I'm experiencing letting myself feel judgmental. And it's so much fun. I see why some people get tripped up and stay here. I see. Feeling judgmental, being judgmental makes you feel like you know something that other people don't know and that they should wise up and recognize. Being and feeling judgmental has this air of holier than thou to it. Like I have some understanding that someone else would, without question, benefit from learning and implementing. Yeah, it's very egotistical. And that can be fun. I'm having a great time, even though I'm experiencing an uncomfortable emotion. But because I trust myself that this isn't who I am, this is just communicating something to me about how I have previously navigated interactions like what I just came from, as well as highlights the growth needed to get to where I want to be when it comes to how this most recent experience went. There's a part of me that, while feeling satisfied to visit judgment, also feels like the other part of me feels like, why are you even harboring that? Like, why are you even carrying that? You don't have to carry that. And that part of me that says, why are you harboring it? It's not even judging the fact that I'm harboring it, even for a limited amount of time, even though it feels like it's unnecessary. It's like, do whatever you do. I'm just reminding you. You can put that down. Oh, goodness. I can put that down. And what would that be like? Part of me feels like I'd feel, oh, hi, sweet babies. Hi, sweet ones. I love dogs. Oh, I love dogs. Part of me feels, hear all this fragment talk, part of me this, part of me that. This part of me feels this way, that part of me thinks this. Parts work is all consuming. And as I was saying, part of me feels like I might feel a bit like a sucker if I don't indulge truly in being judgmental, because empathizing too deeply with the behavior that made me feel uncomfortable might make me feel like I'm being pulled back into agreement with that behavior. And I worked really hard to not be like the person I just experienced. I remember being them in my own way, and then that started to feel limiting and too cramped. I didn't feel spacious. Like I know, like we know we're meant to feel. Getting real trapped in the I of it. Lost track of the we of it when I existed in the egoic, judgmental space solely, when I embodied that. And it was so relieving and satisfying to shed that under no circumstance am I interested in going back. And yet this part of me that doesn't even judge that I'm experiencing this way is like, you can re-experience similar situations. You can still experience the residue of how you used to be. And you can still choose to be the way you have become instead. You now have access to those planes and this one where you don't have to exist that way. You now have access to that. So if you want to settle a little lower in the vibrational plane for a bit, indulge, enjoy. Notice that, enjoy. It's like, even if you're going to choose to feel something that isn't pleasant, recognize that it is a choice at this point. You know better now, so you're not just surrendering to it by default. This is a choice. So enjoy your choice of feeling shitty. And then once you feel better because you felt shitty, as wild as that sounds, start feeling something else that brings you back up to the frequency where you can live and function effectively, where you can thrive. That's all. Oh my goodness. Everybody's out with their pups today. Everybody's pups are looking sharp. My goodness, I would love to have a dog. It's not time for it. Too much traveling. Me and Benjamin plan to move before we get a dog. More space. Oh, I'm eager though. Hi. It's important to speak to the owners. If you just stare at their dogs, they think that you're weird. When have I not been weird? All right. I think that's it for today's check-in. That was fun. Let's do more of this on walks.